Hey guys, my name is Amanda and this is my YouTube channel. Usually here I do a monthly show and tell episode where I kind of recap all the things that I've been crafting for the month. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. I've been recording little snippets here and there of a process of reknitting or reworking some pieces in my wardrobe that I just wasn't getting any use out of, knitted pieces. So I guess you could consider this kind of like a project vlog, but it's specifically focusing on taking pieces that like I said, they were just kind of languishing in my wardrobe, weren't getting very much use out of, and making them into something that hopefully, the hope is that I actually use these things with the new finished objects. So I'm going to be walking you guys through remaking two items that were in my closet. The first one is the Provence top, and the second one is the Seasons Change cardigan. These were two pieces that I had made, I think one was made 2 years ago and one was made like a year ago. They were both made out of We Are Knitters Pima cotton, which is a 100% cotton worsted weight yarn. The colorway is copper, I believe. Here's some of it right here. They were both made out of this. I bought some of this stuff I think I bought it for the Seasons Change cardigan and I ended up buying way too much. So I was able to make some other things out of it, like the Provence top. And I think I knit some washcloths out of it as well, which was made out of, at the time, the scraps that I had left over after those two projects. So lots of yarn. And yeah, so we'll just walk through me ripping the projects out and me picking which patterns I'm gonna make and things like that. So I hope you enjoy. Yeah, and I will see you guys through the video. So here's the Provence top. This was a pattern by Ekaterina, Vorobeva. And yeah, I thought that it was a really pretty top and I had a lot of fun making it. Although it was a bottom up, as I found out later in the video. And one thing I wanted to change about it was the length. I really wanted to shorten it. I just wasn't a fan of how long it was. I think the cotton grew quite a bit. So yeah, that was my Provence top. And this is the Seasons Change cardigan by Melanie Reinert. Obviously my sleeves are way too big and I really liked the leaf motif on this, which is what attracted me I think in the beginning, and I didn't mind the length of it growing because it was supposed to be a long cardigan. One thing I didn't like about it was the actual length of the panels on the side. It just never connected in the middle, and I think that bothered me, and that might be why I didn't draw to it other than the sleeves. Okay, so I just realized that the Provence top is actually a bottom-up garment. I was starting to wonder why unraveling it from the bottom hem, it was not just usually you just pull the cast off and it just pulls it all loose in one thing and you can ball it up as you unwind it. It wasn't doing that, and I thought that was because I did a weird bind off or something, and then I was like, wait, no. I have done several rounds and it is not doing that. And I don't know why it took me so long to realize why it was doing that. So anyway, I think that instead of trying to just adjust the length, I'm gonna just scrap the whole thing. I was already on the fence on whether or not I wanted to try and salvage this project. I thought maybe if I just adjusted the length, I would wear it, here and there. But honestly, it probably was still gonna just squander in my wardrobe. So yeah, I just don't feel like completely, just to adjust the length of the body, completely undoing from the top down that means I would have to completely redo the lace part, and I remember that being a little bit finicky with the sleeves and everything, so I'm just gonna try and rip it all back and just at least salvage the yarn, because I could probably use it for what I'm going to do for the Seasons Change cardigan. So this is being scrapped. I didn't want to have to pull yarn and have it look like this the entire way. That would have been a headache and just not worth it in my opinion. So that is that. I don't know why it took me, why I didn't look at the pattern before I started this and refresh my memory on how I constructed it. I guess I just figured 90% of the time I do top down garments and not bottom up, so I just figured this one was one of those as well. You live and you learn. Hello, so I thought I would pop in and talk to you guys about what my Provence top is going to end up being. So you saw me rip out it completely and discover that I was not going to be able to salvage it. So I went on Ravelry and I looked up patterns for worsted weight yarn, and I think that was the only thing that I really looked at what I could make. I think that was the only filter that I had, just worsted weight yarn. Maybe I typed in cotton. I think I typed in cotton as well as like a recommendation for the pattern. And the Blair vest by Irene Lynn, I believe, popped up like on the first page, and it was so beautiful. I'll pop up a picture of it here, and yeah, I just decided that it was kind of perfect for what I wanted, because it could be used as a summer garment still this year because it is with cotton yarn, but also because of the color that I'm using, it could be a really cute layering piece for fall time as well. So I went ahead and bought that pattern, and I gauge swatched, get my gauge swatch with the yarn here. And so the pattern calls for, like, I think, here, let me pull it up and look. I don't want to tell you guys wrong. 4mm needle. And if you've been around for a while, you're going to assume that I'm about to spit out a number for needle size that I used to get gauge. It's going to be substantially smaller. And it is. I actually did this swatch with a 2.5mm needle, and I decided that I wanted the holes to be a little bit smaller, and everything that I knit ends up being just a little bit bigger than I anticipated it anyway after I block it. So I figured going down to a 2.25mm would not really be that bad. So that's what I did. I'm using a 2.25mm for this, and so a lot smaller than the recommended, but that's no surprise to me. And I don't mind using small needles. I actually really like using the metal needles right now in the heat of the summer. It's really satisfying. And anyway, yeah, so that's what I'm using, and I'm making the size 2. It's a little bit smaller recommended positive ease than what they recommend for me, I am a 38-inch bust, and it recommends I should have pulled this up. It recommends a 6 to 15.75 inch positive ease, and the size 2 is supposed to make a, hold on, 47.25 positive ease. So 42.75 minus 38 is definitely, it's within the range technically, but it's on the smaller end of the range. Anyway, that's what I went with because, again, I'm used to my garments and it being 100% cotton, what I'm using, I knew it's going to grow some, so I'm not too concerned about that. I've tried it on what I've made so far, and I really like the fit so far, so that's always heartening. Yeah, so I was going to record me casting it on and everything, but I did that this past weekend, and I had a lot of stuff going on, so I didn't feel like carrying out my, bringing out my camera and everything. So I thought I would just pop in and give you guys a little update for what I've done so far. I have done a lot. So I worked the back. It's just your basic construction where you have a back piece made with a little bit of shaping, and then you attach the front panels separate, like you cast on stitches from the back panel to make the front panels, and then you join the middle and all that stuff. So I did all that and joined in the round, which is really nice to do because before I joined in the round it was purling every other row, and I'm not terribly I don't hate purling but with this small needle size with a cotton yarn, it was a little bit hard on the hands. So yeah, I'm just happy to be in the rounds that I can knit every other round instead of purling every other round. I'm gonna try this on for you guys. I have it on some needle stoppers, so but the cable is just a little bit too small, so it's kind of a struggle, but we'll try it out here. I think it's gonna look really cute over basically anything because of the fit. It's gonna have a ribbed V-neck, so the neck's gonna be a little bit higher once it's done, but yeah. Let me stand up a little bit. And I'll turn around so you guys can see as well. I love this texture. It's beautiful. It is just lacy enough to be like very feminine, but not a very like meshy, like whole texture. You know what I mean? Like it has a little bit of lacy yarn overs, but the majority of it is a pretty full fabric. Does that make sense? Anyway, I just really like it. It's really easy to remember, and the pattern so far has been very straightforward. It holds your hand where I felt like I needed to be my hand to be held. Like it explains row to row where it needs to, and it doesn't where it doesn't need to. And for the most part, you don't really even, I don't know. Hold on, let me take this off. Oh, the cable's so small. I don't know. I just really like the way the pattern was written. Because like once you get to the body, it's a 4-row repeat, and they just give it to you once, and they're like, all right, knit this until you get to such and such size. And I just love that. But where there were increases, it was like, okay, this is how you start your rows when you increase. And that could be really confusing with a lace pattern if they don't write it out sometimes. I think I actually ran into that problem with the Provence top, so just really refreshing. Yeah, I'm not used to going too far into details with a project, because usually I have like 5 or 6 things to talk about, and I don't want to dwell too long on a specific thing, but this format is very different. So I'm trying to think about other things that I can share with you guys, but so far it's pretty simple. It's like, right now it's just knitting the body. It's gonna have a fairly thick rib at the bottom. Oh, also in the picture and in the pattern, it has like a little option to add a contrast color on the edges of the ribbing, and I think I'm going to do that. And I think, here, I'm gonna get it. So if you watched my last podcast, I think it was, I knit the Penelope kerchief out of this yarn right here. It is a wool and silk blend, but I'm not really concerned about the texture being so different from the cotton because it's literally just going to be used for the edges of the garment. I think that the weight of the yarn matters a lot more, and it's pretty similar weight. So I think it'll work out really good. And I love orange and black together. I think that'll actually make it even more appropriate for fall time. This is very Halloween, autumnal colors. So yeah, I'm going to use this for the contrast color whenever I get around to it. And I'm pretty excited about that. So yeah. Yeah, so I'll try to record some bits of me actually knitting on this thing. And I will get back to you guys either when it's finished or before I start doing like the collar details or something. We'll see. I don't know the future yet, so. Anyway, we'll just go into the next little section. Thanks for listening. Okay, so excuse seeing my phone. This is the best way I can figure out how to see myself in this mirror right here and still be able to record landscape on my phone. Anyway, I thought I would stop in and show you guys where I'm at for what the pattern recommends that you stop and before you start the ribbing. So if I stop here on the body, the ribbing should go to about here. So my belly button's right here. I think, yeah, my belly button's right there. So it would go right about there. And I know I have a baggy t-shirt on, but here's like my waistline. So it would go to like right there. And I know from experience that this cotton does stretch a bit, but since this has been repurposed, I'm wondering if it'll stretch as much or if it's already stretched. I don't know. I am thinking of adding maybe like 2 more repeats of this pattern, which will add probably that much more, so like that, and then 7 inches would probably be more like down here, maybe. I'm thinking of adding it. I want this to be something that I can throw over t-shirts like I'm wearing it right now. So I'm not sure if I like this much more room underneath my t-shirts. But I really like how this is fitting so far. It's very relaxed. It is a really pretty pattern. I like the way that this cotton feels in this texture, and I cannot wait until I add the ribbed V-neck collar because I think that it'll just look so cute. I love how much room is here, but it's not like way too much fabric. Yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far, and I can't wait to get the body done and just finish it up. I'm kind of zooming through it at this point, so yeah, I think I'm gonna add maybe 2 more repeats of the row and then start the ribbing. And if anything, I will do like a little bit less ribbing if I don't like how it is looking lengthwise at that point. I think I'd rather have more of the pattern and less of the ribbing than just not enough length. So that's where I'm at. Hello again. Okay, so quick update. I did start the ribbing after just 2 repeats, and I got about maybe 3 centimeters in, and I realized that I actually wanted to have a split hem on this. So what I'm going to do is I stopped here at just about 4 centimeters, and I'm going to, from here, work back and forth on the front for another 4 centimeters or so. So it'll land about right there, which I think is a good height. And like I said, it'll probably stretch. And then on the back, I'll pick up, and it's on a tight cable right now, so you can't see it. But I'm going to do probably an extra 4 centimeters maybe on the back so that it's a high-low situation. So yeah, I like the ribbing. I like the 2x2. Also, I switched from my 2.25 millimeter to a 2 millimeter. The pattern did recommend going down 0.5 millimeters, but I held the 1.75 millimeter in my hand, and I thought that it would just be way too thin for this yarn. It's already hurting my hand a little bit working on such a small needle with this thick of a yarn and doing purls and knits back and forth. So yeah, I'm going to finish the front and then the back, and I will check back in with you guys, or I might just go ahead and do the rest and check back with you guys after that. I don't know, we'll see. My cat is meowing at me on the other side of the door, so I'm gonna go let her in. Okay, so you just saw me try on the vest with the split hem, and I love how it turned out. I'm really glad that I decided to do a split hem. I don't know, something about having a high-low hem just makes me really happy, and I can see it fitting really cutely with t-shirts and dresses and stuff. But Lucy is rolling around in the sunlight down there. It's very cute and distracting. Anyway, so my next step is I'm going to work on the collar, the V-neck collar for the vest. So yeah, that's what's next. But I only have this much left of what I unraveled from the Provence top, and I really want to avoid having to join the yarn as much as possible because there's already a lot of joins from the previous project. So what I'm going to do first is take the other sleeve of my Seasons Change cardigan and unravel this. The way that I knit this was I just picked up stitches from the front and back panel and knit in the round from the arm to the sleeve to the cuff, so it'll be pretty easy to just take out the ends that I wove in and just unravel it. I actually already did the other sleeve, so you can see this doesn't have a sleeve on the other end. And the reason why I went ahead and did that is because I ran out of yarn from the Provence top, from the front panels, like up here, when I was working on the vest's front panels, and I didn't want to break into the giant ball that I had from the majority of the Provence top. I wanted to save that for the body of the Blair vest. So again, I would have less ends to connect to join with the yarn, and so yeah, that's why I went ahead and just took that out for the Seasons Changed cardigan. And yeah, I'm gonna take out the other sleeve, and hopefully I won't need to use any of the body's yarn to finish the sweater, because all I have left is, like I said, the neckline and then also some ribbing for the arms. It does have some ribbing for the arms, even though I feel like technically you could just get away with not finishing the arms, because it does have this really cute ribbing detail. It almost looks like double knitting a little bit, but it does look a lot cuter, and I can add that layer of black yarn at the end of the ribbing. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can just get all the rest of the project done with the sleeve from the Seasons Change cardigan and be done with it. And I don't know what I'm doing with the rest of the yarn. We'll see how much I have left. I was thinking, the ice maker just dropped ice. I was thinking maybe I could do like a wall art thing, like a crochet wall art thing. Or, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look on Ravelry and see what kind of, like, maybe I'll learn. I was playing with the idea of learning some macrame, and because this is cotton yarn, it would do really good for like a macrame plant hanger. My mother-in-law came over and not too long ago and brought a macrame plant hanger thing that was really cute, but it didn't fit this planter right here that has my spider plant in it. And I really want that to have like a cute decorative hanger thing, so maybe I'll learn some macrame. I don't know, we'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this, and I will catch you guys in a minute. So here it is, all finished up. I just got done weaving in all the ends. The only thing I have left to do is block it. But I thought I would give a little before and after for the blocking process. Come on, Ashlea. She decided she wanted in a room. So yeah, I wanted to show you guys what it looked like before I blocked it. I think the biggest change that's going to happen is the bottom ribbing is going to be more open like this instead of cinching in more. But yeah. I really like it so far. The only thing that I'm really hoping that the blocking does is eliminate this wrinkling right here so that it's more flat and a bit more, I don't know, just like boxy, because that there was some decreases before I worked the ribbing just so that it was an even multiple of 4 for the 2x2 ribbing. So it was necessary, but I'm hoping that blocking will fix that. And if it doesn't, it's not too big of a deal because this feels very casual. So yeah, I might insert some just like better footage of me wearing this, and then I'll do kind of similar footage for after blocking as well. Oh, I just moved this mirror. Okay, to that. Okay, so I just finished the plant hanger pattern. I think this is the right side, yeah. And so I did make a modification for the top. It has you finishing off with just a single crochet row. And what I did was I kind of split it into 3 sections. So the stitch count for the end is 64. So I did this little chain 3, skip 3 stitches. So I could fit it into these little hooks that came with my pot plant holder thing. And so I took 64 stitches and subtracted 9 because I'm skipping 3 stitches 3 times. So that ended up being 55, and then I divided it out as evenly as I could for 3 sections. So what it ended up being was I did a single crochet for 9, chained 3, skipped 3 stitches, and then single crocheted 19, chained 3, skipped 3 stitches, single crochet 18, chained 3, skipped 3 stitches, and then finished it off with the last 9 single crochet stitches. And I figured I would show you guys how I'm going to attach it, if I can, with this setup. We'll see how it goes. So first I'm going to take these little things off of my planter, which is pretty easy to do, thankfully. Just pop them off. Oh. Okay. And then I'm going to fit this on here. I'm also getting dirt on my desk, so FYI if you're gonna do this, maybe do it over something. Oh well. Also, it is a good idea to use cotton for things like this because I'm gonna keep this on when I go to water it, and the water shouldn't mess with the cotton fibers over time. Fitting it over it. The planter thing that I'm using is tiered, so it gets wider at the top. So and this pattern doesn't have like interval increases, so it's definitely a lot tighter at the top than it is at the bottom. Like, this is really difficult actually. So what I'm probably gonna do is position one of the chained hole things and go ahead and put back this thing onto it. That way it'll be held in place as I'm situating the rest of it. Definitely didn't try this before I hit record, so we're just learning as we go. What? I'm recording a video. I'm trying to figure this out. Actually, will you help me? Will you hold the pot? Yeah. I'm trying to find the other single crochet chain. There it is. And grab this other one. And then you can squeeze this on here. There we go. And then find the last one. Here, just hold it tight. There you go. Like, okay. How did I do this? Other ways? I think that got caught on it, but that's okay. Thank you, Shui. You might need 2 people to do it. But there it is. It actually fits really, really well. Ta-da! Also, I totally forgot that I didn't finish this. Like, I still have stitch marker, but that's just as simple as snipping it and then pulling it through. But it is done. Super easy. I literally did this in, I think I started this at like 6 o'clock and it's 8 now, and I cooked dinner in between when I started it and when I finished it, so probably like an hour, maybe a little bit longer if you aren't as quick at crochet. But it's super easy. It's just double crochets and single crochets, and you sometimes crochet into chain loops. But I think that it's a really good little beginner project and a good alternative to macrame if you haven't learned that like me and it intimidates you a little bit. And you just have some cotton yarn laying around. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. Cute. Gonna go hang it up, finish this and hang it back up over there. And I put my Raffinaphora there. That little piece that's hanging, I've actually attached it to this hanger so that it's like, because it's a climbing plant, it helps it support a little bit. So yeah, I'm gonna go put all that back together and I will see you guys in a second. So yeah, those are my 2 projects that I reworked. And in case my editing self forgets, I'm just going to do like a little recap as to what the projects were and what I used for like needle size, hook size, things like that. So as a little recap, this is my Blair vest by Irene, and I made it out of a 2.25 millimeter body. And 2.25 millimeters for the body of it, so like the pattern and stuff, and then a 2 millimeter needle for the ribbing details. And I knit the size 2. Great decision on my part because I love the way it fits. I like the amount of positive ease that it has and whatnot, so good for that. And some of the modifications I ended up making, I added 2 extra repeats of the pattern here to the body. I think I also added some, oh, of course the split hem's a big modification, and I think I knit some extra rows for that as well. I ended up wanting a little bit thicker ribbing at the bottom. And as far as the collar goes, I added 2 extra decrease rounds because I wanted the collar to be thicker as well and a little bit tighter. And for the arm hems, I added 2 extra rows as well. So I think I just like, modification wise, I just added a couple rows here and there. Overall, the pattern is great. Highly recommend it. As I think I mentioned in one of the previous clips, it is really easy to follow and it is good for, it describes the decreases, or I guess it was increases for the arm shaping. It kind of holds your hands on how to accommodate for the increases in stitches with the lace pattern, which I know can be a little bit frustrating or confusing if they don't like describe each row. So I really appreciated that. And yeah, overall I really like this vest. I think that I can already see myself wearing it more than the Provence top because this is a layering piece and it feels more casual than the Provence top. I feel like the Provence top was its own little statement, or it's, you know, it would be your outfit. I don't know what I'm trying to say. All I know is I just didn't really want to wear it because I don't know, I just didn't lean to it. I don't know what else to say about it. I much prefer this. And yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. So that's my Blair vest. And then I made the plant hanger, and I will have had a better video of it. I'm just gonna leave it up there because I don't feel like taking the Raffinaphora branch off of it and taking it down and all that. But the plant hanger pattern is by Ashlea Konecny. I found it was a free pattern on Ravelry. and I used a 5mm hook for that, made the size large, and 5mm hook is larger than it recommended, and I did that because that pot hanger is tiered, so I knew it was going to be a little bit small if I used the right hook size. It ended up working out great, fits perfectly, and I just like added it. You saw the clip before, I just added it onto the little clamps that the plant holder came with. And then I talked about the modifications I made, how I added the chain spaces to add onto the hook. Yeah. And then also, I wanted to mention that I still have all of this from my Seasons Change cardigan. So I only use the yarn from the arms. And I have a pattern planned out for this. I'm not gonna include it in this video just because, well, two reasons. I think this video is already gonna be long enough, and I like the sound of, you know, replacing two projects for two projects, kind of even it out, even though I'm going to get another project out of this. I already decided what I'm gonna make. I don't know if it's going to take all of this yarn or if I'm still gonna have leftovers. But worst case scenario, it doesn't use all the yarn and I can just make more washcloths with this because it is good cotton yarn in my opinion. The pattern that I'm going to make is the Wheat Heart Wall Hanging by High Desert Yarn. I actually found this on Pinterest. It's a free crochet pattern on their website. I think you can buy the PDF if you don't want ads, that kind of situation. But I am just going to make it and mention it on my next show and tell video. That way, oh, that was the second reason. My second reason is I need some stuff for my actual show and tell because I only have one real project to talk about for July. So I need some more stuff to talk about. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna make out of that. Yeah. Oh, also something I wanted to say about the Blair vest that I completely skipped over, and I made a mental note to mention it, and I still forgot. Anyway, I'm mentioning it now. The armholes, after I blocked it, they ended up being a lot bigger than I wanted, but it's fine. They probably look a lot bigger with a shirt like this where the sleeves aren't that like baggy, but I do plan on wearing this with baggy t-shirts, so it'll probably work out fine because baggy t-shirts have baggy armhole things, and I would rather it be too big here and my big t-shirt sleeves fit in it appropriately than it be too small and my big t-shirt sleeves just kind of like poof out of it. So I'm okay with it, but it was kind of like something I was kind of irked about. I put it in the dryer actually. I wet blocked it and I wanted to just like have it dry because I wanted to wrap this video up. So yes, I was a little impatient, but I mean, it was fine in the dryer. It's cotton. I think that the only thing you really need to worry about with cotton in a dryer is it shrinking, but I kind of was hoping it would shrink the arms a little anyway, and I think it did. And also cotton grows over time, so if it shrunk a little bit, I wasn't going to be too disappointed or worried about it. So overall, I'm happy with the fact that I can also just stick this in the dryer for future reference. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. That's going to be it for this project vlog. Let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this type of video. I certainly have other projects in my wardrobe that have been languishing and I would like to rework in something else. So yeah, there might be some more of this in the future. Leave a comment if you yourself have some garments or other types of projects that you've been thinking about reworking. I'd love to hear how you guys would do a project like this. Yeah, I just hope that this sparked some kind of inspiration in you or whatnot. I had a lot of fun making it, although I will say, recording almost every little step of the project is very tedious. It's much different than my typical turn on the camera, talk for 45 minutes to an hour, and then hit stop recording and do minimal editing. So yeah, thanks for watching, and as always, take care and happy crafting. Bye.